Hello and welcome everyone to this very interesting and exciting webinar that we have around tactics to reduce your cloud wastage. I hope everybody is concerned about their cloud wastage as cloud spend is ever growing. Let me just give you a brief about who I am. So my name is Karan Batra. I am a FinOps evangelist at CloudKeeper. And our speaker for today will be Harsh Agarwal. He's a FinOps expert at CloudKeeper with an extensive background of product management. He has been in the industry for decade here now, and he's an extensive and passionate contributor toward FinOps as an industry as well. So before I hand it over to Harsh, let me just give you a walkthrough of who we are as a company so that you have a greater visibility of CloudKeeper as a whole. So we are an end-to-end cloud FinOps and a cost optimization solution provider offering instant and guaranteed savings. We have been doing this for currently 300 active customers across 5 continents, and we have been in the market for 15 plus years and in the cloud for 12 years now. We have been partnered with various cloud hypervisors. We have been premier consulting partners with AWS for 8 plus years now, have been partners with Azure as well. As a company, we are premier partner at FinOps Foundation as well. So delivering cloud managing billing for over $120 million annually. We have been able to save our customers around $100 million and delivering savings of up to 25% on their average annual spend. We have a team of 300 plus certified cloud architects and FinOps experts. So that is whole about our company. And now I hand it over to Harsh to take this forward and give you a brief about what we're going to cover as our agenda and then take it over. Over to you, Harsh.
Thank you, Karan. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for this session. Today, we'll delve into a very pressing concern cloud wastage. We'll explore its ramifications, understand why it impacts us, and examine both its financial and non financial implications. We'll also identify the primary contributors to cloud wastage, dissecting the root causes behind its occurrence. Additionally, we'll explore strategies for mitigating cloud wastage, tailored to the organization's specific stage of progress or long-term goals. Furthermore, we'll highlight how CloudKeeper can play a pivotal role in maximizing savings and minimizing cloud wastage. And lastly, the house would be open. We can have the Q&A. Before we actually jump into the presentation, let's start with a quick poll. In few seconds, you would be able to see the first poll on your screen. And the poll says, what is your monthly AWS spend? There are 6 options. You can choose the range that best fits with your organization. We'll wait for a few seconds for everyone to cast in their votes. So we have started getting some votes. Some people have not voted yet. So we'll wait for 5 more seconds for everybody to do it. Awesome. It's good to know that we have a mix of audience today. We have organizations where the monthly spend is more than 75,000 USD, and we have organizations that are yet to scale and it is below 5,000 USD. So it's good to know that we have a mix of audience, and it will be really helpful for me to ensure that the information that we'll be passing is customized for the audience. In few seconds, you would be able to see the next poll on your screen, and it says, what percentage of it do you think is getting wasted? We understand that you might not be having a concrete number in mind, but based on your experience, you can inform and mark the one that best fits with your organization. We'll wait for a few seconds. Awesome. So almost everybody thinks that 5 to 15% or probably more is something that is getting wasted. It is a concerning issue. Now, since we all agree that it is a problem, let's talk more about it. So cloud wastage refers to the inefficient and unnecessary utilization of cloud resources, resulting in heightened expenses and environmental consequences. Increased cloud wastage directly impacts profitability negatively. In terms of statistics, Gartner projects that total spending on public cloud services will soar to an estimated $679 billion in 2024, reflecting substantial investment made by organizations worldwide in cloud infrastructure. However, it is alarming that 38% of organizations report wasting over 30% of their cloud expenditure. This is not an isolated issue, it's a widespread issue among all cloud users and poses significant challenges for an organization as a whole. Financially, this translates to additional cost. Organizations pay for resources that are either underutilized or remain idle. Now let's delve into some factors contributing to cloud wastage. Based on our research, we have found out 3 or 4 major reasons because of which cloud wastage happens in the organization. The first one is over provisioning. Over allocation stands out as a primary driver behind cloud wastage occurrences when we designate an excess of resources beyond what is actually needed to manage the workload. It results in significant cloud wastage. And this is what we actually call as over provisioning of cloud resources. Failure to accurately evaluate resource needs coupled with uncertainty or overly cautious planning frequently contributes to overallocation. While conservative planning may offer a buffer to accommodate sudden spikes in demand, it can result in unnecessary expenses if the resources remain underutilized over time. Let's understand this with some examples. The first one is we all would be able to relate to it. We always have to put features in production quickly, and in that process, we often prioritize speed over resource efficiency, leading to a tendency to over provision cloud resources. Another example would be deploying instances with more vCPUs and memory than necessary for the workload. For example, opting for an M6 large instance powered by AWS Graviton 4 processors when a T4G micro instance probably could meet the requirements. The major reason for this is we do not know that we are making this mistake at that point of time. We do not have the bandwidth to look into it, or probably we do not have the expertise in our company to make that call. In any case, we end up losing a lot of money in terms of cloud wastage. Apart from this, something that has come up a lot in the last few years in terms of cloud wastage is idle resources is the main culprit of it. Idle resources are resources that we used at some point of time, but now they're not in use. So idleness of a resource is also defined as when a resource is not being fully used. For example, if you are only utilizing 20% of T4 X large EC2 instance, you are essentially leaving 80% of its computational power idle. This underutilization leads to significant AWS EC2 cost implications as you are paying for resources that you're not fully leveraging. Considering the efficiency and cost effectiveness of the latest generation servers such as T4G instances powered by AWS Graviton 2 processors, optimizing resource utilization becomes even more critical to maximize cost savings. In simple terms, idle resources are the cloud resources such as virtual machines or storage that are provisioned and operational but not actively performing any task. Essentially, it is the digital equivalent to leaving the lights on in an empty room, and I'm sure none of us would want to do that. Let's talk about some examples before we move to lack of automation. An example here could be an organization procured reserved instances for a specific term but didn't fully utilize them due to fluctuating workloads. This underutilization results in wasted reserved capacity and incurs additional cost, particularly if the workload patterns change over time, leading to financial wastage in the cloud environment. Another example could be a company, let's say, operates a fleet of EC2 instances to manage peak workload but neglects to scale them down during off-peak periods. Consequently, they are paying for compute resources that frequently remain idle, contributing to financial wastage in their cloud infrastructure. Apart from these two major reasons, lack of automation is again being seen as one of the major factors because of which cloud wastage happens. So, a primary challenge we face is the absence of automated resource scaling. Relying on manual adjustments to accommodate fluctuating demand can lead to either over provisioning, resulting in unnecessary costs during low traffic periods, or under provisioning, causing performance issues during peak hours. Implementing auto scaling enables your cloud infrastructure to dynamically respond to usage changes by scaling resources up during peak demand and down during quieter times. For example, consider an online retail platform experiences a surge in traffic during holiday seasons. Without auto scaling, the infrastructure remains static, potentially leading to performance bottlenecks. In contrast, with auto scaling configured, the system can seamlessly deploy additional server instances to handle the increased load, ensuring optimal performance and cost efficiency. Last reason, which is again one of the most ignored one here, is lack of alerts and visibility in the system. In the dynamic landscape of cloud, it is crucial to recognize the importance of staying in line with the resource performance and utilization levels. It is not uncommon to overlook the absence of alerts in our system, which can result in suboptimal usage of cloud instances. This lack of proactive notification mechanism often leads to significant cloud wastage, as manual tracking, to be very honest, becomes impractical after a certain scale. One more issue that I would want to highlight here is neglecting CloudWatch alarms. So, CloudWatch serves as more than just a monitoring tool, it's a proactive shield against inefficiencies. However, neglecting to configure CloudWatch alarms is akin to leaving vulnerabilities unaddressed, potentially inviting issues that can be avoided in the system. Now, in the practical world, it is not possible for every company to do it. Every company progresses uniquely along its growth trajectory, making a uniform approach unsuitable for the system. Similarly, a singular solution isn't viable for all organizations. Tailoring strategies to address cloud wastage depends on specific developmental stage of that particular organization. So once we have discussed this now, that these are the three, four main reasons because of which cloud wastage happens in our organization. And we also understand that one size would not fit all. So we'll move stage wise, that based on whatever stage your organization is in, what can you do to ensure cloud wastage goes down and profitability increases? The very first stage that I want to talk about is assessment and inventory. In the initial phase, which corresponds to the informed phase of FinOps, organizations are urged to meticulously identify and document their existing cloud assets, spanning instances, storage, services, while fostering inter-team communication, obviously. To kickstart this process, organizations at this stage should prioritize gaining a comprehensive grasp of their current cloud environment. This can be achieved through two primary actions. First, conduct cloud resource inventory. Our foremost objective here is to methodologically identify and document all current cloud resources that encompasses instances, storage, services, whatever it is, that constitute your cloud infra. Think of it as taking inventory of everything within our cloud ecosystem. So once we have done that, secondly, analyzing resource utilization becomes very important. We need to delve into questions such as, are our instances operating at peak efficiency? Are there any storage resources that are not being fully used? Our aim is to pinpoint instances and services that might be underused or over provisioned. Ultimately, our goal is to analyze and ensure cost optimization by identifying and rectifying inefficiencies in the system. Therefore, once we have identified underused or over provisioned resources, the subsequent step should involve right sizing them accordingly. So, the next stage, once you are done with the first stage, is right sizing your resources. This phase corresponds to the optimization phase, as the name suggests, where our primary objective is to ensure optimal alignment of our cloud resources with the specific requirements of our workloads. So, what do we do in this? Firstly, establishing workload requirements is very important. It is essential to thoroughly understand the characteristics and resource demands of our workloads. By gaining clarity on these aspects, we can make well-informed decisions and calls regarding the types and sizes of instances needed to run the system efficiently. The focus is on right-sizing our resources to precisely match the unique demands of each workload. First step was this. Secondly, strategically selecting instance types and sizes is again very important, and we all know that the best way to do is to auto-scale the resources. Utilizing auto-scaling mechanisms proves to be the most effective approach. As the scale of operation increases, manually adjusting resource sizes becomes increasingly challenging in the system. Implementing auto-scaling configurations allows for dynamic resource adjustment based on workload fluctuations. This automation ensures that our infrastructure can seamlessly scale up or down in response to changing demands. By doing so, we can avoid over-provisioning during peak periods and mitigate underutilization during quieter times, which results in significant cost savings. Let's understand this with an example through, let's say, a diligent monitoring system of performance metrics. A company identifies a web server instance consistently operates well below its capacity. To address this, right sizing involves transitioning to a smaller instance type that better aligns with the actual resource requirements, thereby reducing cost without compromising the performance. So these were the first two stages from where we can start as an organization. Once we are done with these two stages, the third stage is oftenly ignored but known to everybody is reserved instance. According to FinOps principles, this stage aligns with the optimize phase, where our primary aim is to optimize cost efficiency by strategically reserving instances for workloads with consistent and predictable resource requirements. So, firstly, it is crucial to identify predictable workloads. We begin by pinpointing workload with stable and predictable resource needs. This step lays the groundwork for effectively utilizing reserved instances to maximize cost savings. Next, we proceed to purchase those reserved instances. Once predictable workloads are identified, the subsequent action involves acquiring reserved instances customized to meet their specific demands. This entails selecting the appropriate reservation terms, whether for 1 year or 3 year, based on your workload's long term predictability. If you can invest for 3 years, go for it. But if you don't have the visibility of the next 2 or 3 years, probably you can choose the 1 year term that is completely based on your organization's projections. I'll give you an example. Consider a scenario where a company identifies a group of mission critical databases characterized by stable and foreseeable usage patterns. By investing in reserved instances for these databases, the company opts for, let's say, 1 year commitment, resulting in cost savings of up to 30% compared to on demand pricing. So, through strategic utilization of reserved instances, we not only secure cost savings, but we also ensure that our infrastructure is optimally aligned with the requirements of our predictable workloads. For the first three stages, a lot of benefit you would be able to see, and that benefit would actually be tangible. Once this is done, we'll jump to the fourth stage of optimizing cloud usage, that is automation for efficiency. During this phase, our attention sharpens towards leveraging automation to enhance resource scaling and management, placing it squarely within the operate phase of cloud operations. The primary strategies revolve around first, embracing automated scaling and management. Efficiency becomes paramount, with automation emerging as the main lever of our approach. Through the deployment of automated tools, we empower our cloud infrastructure to dynamically adjust resource allocation in response to fluctuating demand. So, gone are the days of manual intervention, and a cloud environment evolves into a self regulating ecosystem. And it has to be there because once the scale increases, it becomes nearly impossible to manage it manually. One example could be, imagine an e commerce giant deploying auto scaling mechanisms for its web app, effectively managing traffic surges during peak shopping periods as user activity spikes. Additional virtual machines seamlessly spin up to accommodate the influx, ensuring uninterrupted service delivery. Conversely, during quieter times, surplus resources are automatically scaled out, minimizing operational expenses. By embracing automation for enhanced efficiency, we not only bolster our operational prowess but also cultivate a streamlined and agile cloud environment capable of intelligently adapting to evolving requirements. We'll jump to the last two stages again, which I think are often neglected because of the priorities or probably the bandwidth or probably we never thought about it. Stage 5 is the periodic audits and reporting. This phase aligns with the FinOps operational phase, where our focus transitions towards continual enhancement through regular audits, transparent reporting. The key actions in the strategic phase involve initially conducting routine audits. Understand it from this perspective, just as the regular health checkups are crucial for maintaining well being. Similarly, periodic audits of our cloud resources and expenses are essential for the health of our operations. Through these audits, our goal is to uncover areas ripe for improvement and optimization. Once this is done, the next thing that we need to concentrate is identify areas of enhancement. Audit results are more than just figures or numbers or data on a report, they represent opportunities for refinement. It is imperative to delve into these findings to pinpoint specific areas where resource efficiency can be enhanced and cost can be optimized. This entails transforming raw data into actionable insights that propel positive transformations. So, once this is done, we should focus on the first five stages, and I think the sixth stage has to be run parallel with every stage. That is iterative optimization. This stage encompasses the FinOps phases of inform, optimize, operate, emphasizing the imperative of perpetual enhancements. In the dynamic realm of cloud computing, optimization isn't a one time endeavor, it's an ongoing voyage. We should instill in all team members the mindset that cloud optimization is a continuous process. It's a journey where we consistently seek avenues to bolster efficiency and drive cost effectiveness. It is about nurturing a culture of continual progress within our organization. Additionally, we must iterate and fine tune strategies, regularly evaluate their efficacy, and refining them based on what we have learned in the past. Through embracing iterative optimization completely, we ensure that our cloud environment remains finely calibrated not just for the present but also for the future. So these were, we talked about what is cloud wastage, we talked about the main culprits of cloud wastage, we talked about some statistics, and we also shed some light on the stages in which an organization can adopt itself to ensure gradually and with some good progress every month, every quarter, every year, cloud wastage goes down and profitability increases. Now we understand that these solutions are not that simple and easy to implement overnight if you do not have the expertise to implement and manage them. This is where we come into the picture. To help you achieve all this, we provide FinOps consulting and support. We have a dedicated team of 300 plus DevOps and cloud experts whose primary role is to collaborate with our clients. Since we are a cloud agnostic organization, be it Azure, be it GCP, be it AWS, or any other public cloud service, we have the experts for. They conduct thorough, well architected reviews, offering insights into potential architectural enhancements aimed at optimizing cost and identifying any cloud wastage within the system. The expert team continuously reviews your current architecture and cloud infrastructure, providing tailored recommendations for further optimization. They guide you through the adoption of new cloud services and offer support during any instances of outage or issues, ensuring prompt resolution to minimize any impact. Moreover, they facilitate monthly and quarterly reviews, enabling you to gain a deeper understanding of your expenditure, which you might not be doing yourself in everyday's work because that is not your core competency and probably you do not have the bandwidth to do that. By highlighting areas where spending is high, they propose strategies to further cost optimization. This team operates round the clock, ensuring comprehensive support at all the times, needless to say. In all evaluations, this is a very important point that we maintain a specific focus, addressing only pertinent aspects tailored to your unique cloud infrastructure. This approach ensures that our recommendations are precisely aligned with your needs and they are not the generalized ones. So, this is what we do. Apart from this, CloudKeeper is a FinOps solution that we offer to enhance savings and minimize cloud wastage. I'll take some time to inform you about what is CloudKeeper and how it can help you. CloudKeeper, you would get guaranteed savings from day one with CloudKeeper. Customers get a software platform to analyze their usage and cost in a much more granular way. This is a very enhanced platform where you get detailed cost incurred, which in turn can help in optimizing usage. Customers also get a dedicated FinOps team, which guides the customer on how to further optimize the current infrastructure and how to maximize savings. Most of the times, we have seen that these solutions are separately offered in the market, but with CloudKeeper, you get all of them bundled together into one. Now, I talked about a point guaranteed savings, so I would want to spend 1 or 2 minutes on what do we mean by guaranteed savings. Guaranteed savings, you can run everything on demand, but you would be billed at 1 year savings plan rate. So you will get a good discount on your on-demand usage. 100% of your instances, including any seasonal spikes, would get billed at savings plan pricing. Any new server that you are launching right from the first hour itself, it is getting billed at savings plan rate and not the on-demand rate. This is what we mean by guaranteed savings. There are additional discounts on CloudFront and AWS support. If you're using CloudFront or AWS Enterprise support, then you'll get discounted prices for these services as well. Since as a partner, we are managing multiple customers at scale, so you can enjoy a good discount on these services. AWS support has a tiered pricing model, so we get the benefit there when consolidating usage of multiple customers. So we can offer obviously discounted prices for AWS business support as well. EDP, if your annual bill is more than 500,000 USD or more, we may look at something known as EDP. Basically, in lieu of a commitment, you get discounted prices. But if that EDP is routed via us, we can offer better discounts at lower commitment to you. So this was all about it. This is the list of our customers in our portfolio. I'll take a pause here so that you can get some time to have a quick look at our customers. In India, Tata MG and My One MG and MyGate, Lenskart, Harpico are our customers. We have Lifecare, Gather, Frequency, eLocal, Q Pharma, Credits, and some of the notable names across the region, across the globe. So after this presentation is over, we'll share the deck so that you can get some more time to have a look at it. To conclude, we understand that cloud wastage is a concerning issue. It is something that we should all be concerned about because it is impacting our profitability. Based on our research and whatever findings we have done in the last few years, idle resources and over provisioning are the two main factors because of which cloud wastage happens. And the sad part is we are not even aware about it. It is very, very important and essential with whatever mechanism we have to optimize cloud resources. That is very important because cloud wastage directly corresponds to decreased profitability. If cloud wastage is there, the profitability would obviously would go down. We understand that every company can't do it. CK has solutions. CloudKeeper can help you ensure that whatever we can do based on your usage and whatever the requirement is, we have options and offerings like Lens, Auto, Easy, ETP, etc. We'll be more than happy to connect with you offline and see what the specific use cases, and probably based on that, our team of experts can guide you that what is it that we can do to ensure that cloud wastage goes down and profitability increases. So as we wrap up, always keep this in mind. Reducing cloud waste is not just about reducing cost, it is about increasing profitability. Therefore, let's not merely optimize the cloud utilization, let's transform it into a driver of significant success. Thank you for your time, and let's revolutionize our approach to harness the potential of cloud. One thing is still not clear to me. How should I look at this? Reduced expenses or increased profitability? Food for thought. Thank you so much for your time. Now the house is open for Q&A. Please type in your queries. You can use the chat window to write whatever question you have, and we'll be more than happy to take that up. We'll wait for a few seconds for our first question. Okay, so what is the percentage of savings that I can get? For that, we'll have to look at your bill to commit the exact percentage of savings. It totally depends on what is the amount of on-demand usage there is in your system, and based on that, our experts would be able to explain you the savings. So Vihong is asking, can AWS coding users still access the billing and cost console in AWS? Yes. So once you tie up with us, your bill is routed via us. You continue to use whatever services, platforms that AWS is offering. There is no constraint or restraint on it. You can access whatever platform you can now and post when you route your bill via us. So no constraints there. Lily is asking, I am an EDP customer. Can I use your services? You can still use some solutions of CloudKeeper, but we can connect offline to understand your requirements and the usage before we can give you the exact comment on that. Pankaj is asking, what percentage saving between on-demand versus reserved instances? So we'll have to look at your bill. Based on the volume, the usage, we can see whatever best we can do. For that, we'll have to see the cost and usage report and see what is the on-demand usage as of now, what is the RI usage as of now, and we can project that this percentage of savings we can do. If you have an existing reserved instances, we will honor that, and once that is over, it is not your liability to purchase them, we'll do it for you. Most welcome, Pankaj. How does CK handle existing commitments? Okay, so as I informed Pankaj also, we honor your existing commitments right from day one, and once they expire, you do not have to renew. Also, we see what is the on-demand current, and based on that, we can recommend savings options. Once reservations expire, we buy the reservations for you so that you can get maximum savings. So, Brian, how much can CK save for us? Again, we'll have to look at your bill and the usage to give you a more concrete answer around that. But we'll be more than happy to talk to you offline and see what is the on demand usage, and based on that, we can give you a ballpark number that in the next few months or from the right first hour itself, this is what we can say for you. So Rohan is asking, how do we link our account with you? Process is very simple. We just take your AWS account ID, send an invite. Once you accept the invite, your account moves under our billing account. I hope that answers the question. So, who will pay for the usage of AWS? So, we'll raise invoices to the customer, and the customer would pay us, and we'll pay to AWS. Bill you would get from our side would be a discounted price, so you eventually end up paying less. I hope that answers. Does it support Azure? Yes, we are yet to reach that volume. We are a cloud agnostic platform, so be it Azure, GCP, AWS. For now, I would recommend you to go to Azure Marketplace and search for our product CloudKeeper Lens. We are there listed. And when we share the presentation with you after this call over mail, please send your specific use case for Azure and we'll see what best we can do. And the last one is, how does CloudKeeper earn then? Okay, so we have always been very transparent about this since we have the question of 300 plus customers. So we can go aggressive with the RI purchase with long term commitment, that is 3 years. For example, when you are running a server on demand, and let's say the cost is 100 USD per month. When we do 1 year commitment with Amazon, then the cost of the same server would go down to, let's say, 80 USD. When we do 3 year commitment with Amazon, the cost would go down to 50 USD. So since we have the luxury of 300 plus customers and we know whatever commitment that we'll do, we'll be able to honor that, we'll be able to consume it. So we are doing 3 year commitments to get a lower price for ourselves, and then we are offering you, let's say, 1 year price that is 80 USD. That is where we make our margins. I hope that answers. Karan, I think I've taken enough time. I would want to give you the control now. Over to you.
Sure, sure. Thanks, Harsh, for that insightful session around cloud wastage. And thank you everyone for taking out time for the webinar today. I hope you found it very interesting and you were able to learn more about cloud wastage as a domain, or I would say hot topic in the industry. And as a next step, or I would say if there is any query left, we can connect one to one to dive deeper into specific use case as Harsh mentioned, and see what best we can do around cloud wastage and cost optimization for you. We'll be sharing the video and presentation with you all as well after the webinar. Please feel free to reach out to us in case we were not able to answer any of the question due to short period that we have for this session. Thanks once again and wishing you a wonderful day ahead.